You didn't fall in love with who they were. You fell in love with who they could become. If they just worked on themselves a little more, healed a little faster, tried a little harder, finally became consistent, you saw it. That flash of who they could be buried underneath the mess. And somewhere along the way, without noticing, you started loving that version instead, the one who doesn't exist yet. This is why you stay long after you should have left, why letting go feels less like leaving someone and more like losing someone you never actually had. Let's call her Elena. She's 29. She met someone 8 months ago, brilliant, funny, magnetic in a room, but inconsistent, warm one week, distant the next, full of plans he never quite follows through on, kind in ways that feel real and careless in ways that leave her confused. Her friends ask her gently why she stays, and every time Elena finds herself explaining, not who he is, but who he's becoming. He's working on himself. He had a hard childhood he's healing. You should have seen him last month, he was so present. She's not lying. Those moments happened. He really was present last month. He really did apologize beautifully after the last blow-up, really did promise to do better. Elena holds on to those moments like proof, evidence for a future she's certain is coming, if she just stays a little longer, loves him a little harder, is a little more patient. What Elena doesn't fully see yet is this: she's not actually dating the man in front of her. She's dating a highlight reel of his best 5 minutes, stretched across an entire relationship. The distant weeks, the broken promises, the confusion, those get filed away as not really him. Only the potential gets to count as real. If you've ever caught yourself explaining someone's future instead of describing their present, this video is about to explain exactly why. Here's what's actually happening. Falling in love with potential isn't really about the other person at all. It's about a specific cognitive pattern psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, combined with something deeper, an unconscious belief that love has to be earned through effort. Intermittent reinforcement means inconsistent reward. When good moments arrive unpredictably, sometimes warm, sometimes cold, no clear pattern, your brain doesn't get less attached, it gets more attached. This is the same mechanism behind gambling addiction. A slot machine that pays out every single time is boring. A slot machine that pays out unpredictably, occasionally, just enough to keep you hoping, that's the one people can't walk away from. Your brain isn't chasing the person. It's chasing the next unpredictable reward, the next good week, the next apology that finally sounds like it means it. Each inconsistent good moment doesn't reassure you, it re-hooks you, resetting the hope that this time the good version is here to stay. But there's a second layer underneath the intermittent reinforcement. For many people who fall into this pattern somewhere in their history, love wasn't something freely given. It was something you had to work for, be good enough for, behave a certain way to deserve. If that's your template, a relationship that requires constant effort, patience, and hope doesn't feel like a red flag. It feels like what love has always felt like, something you earn through endurance. But here's the part almost nobody says out loud. Loving someone's potential is often safer than loving their actual current self, because loving someone's potential doesn't require you to fully accept what's happening right now. It lets you stay hopeful instead of disappointed. It lets you feel like you're choosing a future instead of tolerating a present. And there's something else, quieter and harder to admit. If you're constantly focused on who they could become, you rarely have to look directly at who you are choosing to stay with, exactly as they are right now. The potential becomes a kind of emotional shield, something to focus on so you don't have to fully feel the disappointment of the present. This is also often deeply tied to self-worth. If a part of you believes that you have to earn love, then a relationship that requires constant effort and patience doesn't just feel familiar. It feels like the only kind of love that would actually count as real. Easy love, love that's simply given without you having to work for it, can feel suspicious, undeserved, too good to trust. So you find yourself again and again drawn not to people who are already consistently kind, present, and reliable, but to people who have the raw ingredients of something wonderful buried under something that needs fixing. Because on some level, fixing it, earning it, waiting for it, that feels like the price love is supposed to cost. This shows up in different forms. There's the person who stays in a situationship for years, holding on to the one night the other person opened up completely, using that single moment as proof of a depth that rarely, if ever, shows up again. There's the person who keeps giving chances after broken promises, not because they don't notice the pattern, but because each broken promise comes wrapped in a genuinely sincere apology, and the sincerity of the apology becomes more convincing than the repetition of the behavior. There's the person who says, "But you should meet the real them," describing a version of their partner that friends and family have never actually witnessed, because that version only appears in private, briefly, unpredictably, just often enough to keep the hope alive. In every case, the pattern is the same. The relationship isn't being evaluated by what's actually consistently present. It's being evaluated by its highest peak, the best 5 minutes, stretched to represent the whole. Here's the twist most people never consider. The goal isn't to stop seeing someone's potential. Seeing the good in people isn't the problem. It's actually one of the kinder instincts a person can have. The real shift is learning to separate potential from evidence. Potential is what someone could become if certain things changed. Evidence is what someone has actually consistently shown you over time without you needing to hope, wait, or manage them into it. A healthy relationship isn't built on potential, it's built on evidence, not the promise of who they might become, the demonstrated pattern of who they already reliably are. The question that actually changes something isn't, "Do I see something good in them?" Almost everyone has something good in them. The question is, if nothing about this person changes, if they never become the version I'm hoping for, would I still choose this exactly as it is right now? That question is uncomfortable on purpose, because it forces you to stop dating a future that hasn't arrived and start honestly evaluating the present you're actually living in. So the next time you catch yourself explaining someone's potential instead of describing their present, pause there for a moment. Not to punish yourself for hoping, hope isn't the problem, but ask yourself gently and honestly, am I loving who this person actually is, consistently right now? Or am I loving a future version of them that I'm the one keeping alive, all by myself? You deserve a love that doesn't require you to squint to see it. One that doesn't ask you to hold on to 5 good minutes to justify the rest. Real love isn't something you have to imagine into existence. It's something you get to simply notice already there in front of you.